Hello and welcome to the Elite YGO. My name is Rhys and welcome to another deck profile. Today we'll be profiling Fluffals yet again with a slight change. We are now playing Red-Eyes Dark Dragoon because the way I see it, because this deck just doesn't have enough space in it to run hand traps, you kind of just got to really commit going first, and you basically are doing what everyone else is doing, and that's building the most unbreakable board you can possibly build and then just go for a massive OTK later on. If the deck had the space for hand traps and stuff, I would obviously consider going second. This deck can go second still. It's very good at breaking boards naturally, but some of the boards people make now are just really hard to break. So for now, I'm committing to going first and just hoping that if I do get forced to go second, I have the cards in hand to break a field. But with that being said, I'd just like to mention one last thing. If you guys have been a fan of the channel from the very beginning, you would have noticed that in my profiles, I like to use a green screen in the background. I just cannot do that anymore without sacrificing the quality of the deck profile itself, because there is just uncontrollable glare from the downlights in the house, and the only way I can get the green screen to work is while using the downlights. I just don't have the correct lighting. If you actually see what I have to do now just to avoid glare but get still good lighting on this face cam, you'd be impressed. I'll show you that right now. Yep, that's what I'm working with. So, with that being said, no more green screen, I apologize. When I get proper lighting, we'll be back to that. But yeah, for now, we'll just be using this face cam. Yeah, with that being said, let's get on with the Fluffal deck profile. Okay, so starting with the main deck, it's pretty standard. It's actually very similar to what I was running before, but we've obviously had to take out a few cards to make room for the bricks, that being the Dark Magician, the Red-Eyes Black Dragon, and the Red-Eyes Fusion. But for the most part, the deck is very much the same. So we play 3 Fluffal Dog, which is quite standard. This is just your searcher of the deck, so you play 3. 3 Penguin, because this is literally just your biggest turbo card. It's so nice. It pairs really well with the Fluffal Sheep, because you can just go this into this, and then special the sheep, and then bounce this back into your hand, so you can fuse it out of your hand and not lose field advantage. Makes using cross sheep really powerful. So I think that's really good. 3 Bear is still mandatory because you just want to get to your toy vendor as quick as possible. We pair this with now just 2 wings. I used to play 3, but that was an incorrect ratio. So shout out to that comment in that first Fluffal profile. The ratio was incorrect. With more testing, Dolphin just gets you this whenever you need it, really. And if you're really desperate for those extra draws, you can just search it off the toy vendor. So it's not a big deal. We play 2 Dolphin. I've cut this down to 2 as well because I've cut this down to 2 as well because you just don't need the 3rd. I mean, you can commit harder to going into the Totally Awesome, but your deck just builds boards strong enough where sometimes you don't even need that. But it does come up. This card is really, really broken, being able to get you the toy vendor from your graveyard. So you still have to play this. This is one of the best cards in the deck. So yeah. For the 1-Elves, we play the 1 Sheep. I actually want to play this at 3. This card is really, really broken, but Fluffals all being hard once per turns really hinders the deck a lot, so you can't really overcommit to a lot of these cards. But yeah, I would consider playing this at maybe even 2. This card's really strong. It helps you make the best boards. Fluffal Cat, it just recycles your polys. That's basically all it's there for. And if you're trying to make the biggest field, you want to be able to abuse poly as much as possible, and this card really does help you get there. And then the Fluffal Owl just lets you play if you don't have poly. It also searches a poly, so this on its own is 2 polys in 1. So yeah, this card's really, really strong. Now onto the Edge monsters, we still play 3 Scythe. You can arguably say you can cut this down to 2, but if you're forced to go second, this actually allows you to, interrupt your opponent because we don't play any hand traps, and it also protects your Cruel Whale from popping itself. So yeah, this card at 3 is really good. It also just acts like a quick play fusion. Even if you go first, you can even, as a further interruption on top of the board you can already make another Cruel Whale, because you won't burn all 3 in your first turn, obviously. So yeah, this card is really nuts. 3 Chain, this is just the best Edge monster in my opinion. It searches you all your Fright First spells. A lot of the time you're just going to be searching the Patchwork, but sometimes you search the Fright First Fusion just for that big OTK. And just the 1 Edge Sabers, this is the best extender. There are a lot of games where you'll draw the Red-Eyes Fusion, so you'll purposely go for this, and then you'll just put the Red-Eyes Fusion back on the top of your deck to summon this back out, and it turns on that play yet again. So this card has that low-key synergy, which I really enjoy. And then just for the 2 bricks, the Red-Eyes and the Dark Magician, no need to explain those, obviously. Onto the spells, 3 Toy Vendor, which coincide with the 3 Foolish Burial Goods. Foolish Burial Goods becomes a Rotor. Toy Vendor just becomes a Extender sometimes. It just depends on how lucky you want to get. Hair day is an issue today. This is what happens when you start losing your hair. You have to like make things work. But yeah, Rotor is just like, you know, it's good in the deck, and obviously the low-key Extender is really powerful too. Onto the fusion-based part of the deck, we obviously play 3 Patchwork, because the way Patchwork works is like... Patchwork works. The way this card works in the deck is just absurd. Like, there are some decks that even play this just to search Poly quicker. Like, I've seen Prank Kids deck profiles play this, which is just absurd. I would never do something like that. That deck doesn't even need Poly to begin with. But yeah, this card is literally just a +1 on its own. It's just insane. And then obviously a 3 Poly that you get to search. You can't play without this card, essentially. You need a way to Poly to really make the most out of the cards in your hand, and you know, the 3 Patchwork help you get there. You've also got the Owl that'll help you get there. So, and I suppose in some scenarios you could Verta Anaconda for it, but if your only play is Verta Anaconda, you're probably just going to go Red-Eyes Fusion Pass, because honestly that card on its own is just absurd. Fright Fur Fusion, this just lets you get those insane OTKs, like, you know, in some scenarios you could just, like, if your Anaconda survives, you could just go like Anaconda effect again, send the fusion, banish like 6 materials and get like 6 free OTKs to the face. It's just so insane. The last fusion card is obviously the Red-Eyes Fusion, because you know, you make this in your combo, and it summons out literally the best boss monster in the game right now. And then the last card is the Fright Fur Repair. I obviously wasn't playing this in my last build, and that was just so incorrect. This card is such a good extender. You can send it off the Cruel Whale to like get a Fluffal out of your hand for free, and it just lets you push even further. So this card, I regret not playing it, and in hindsight, this is definitely mandatory in the deck now. Before we get onto the extra deck, let's just give a quick shout out to nikijo.com.au. Use promo code ELITE5 at checkout for a 5% discount on all your orders. I highly recommend you use them. And yeah, with that being said, let's continue with the extra deck. I am still using that catchphrase apparently. So for the extra deck, we obviously play 3 Cruel Whale. You play 3 because you burn 2 making VFD a lot of the time, so you just want the 3rd as like another interruption. This card also Foolish Burials like any of your spell cards, because that's basically all you're ever going to send. You're very rarely going to send a card from your extra deck unless you're like trying to push hard for a Kraken or something. It's just, yeah, you'll never really use that effect. And also it pops a card like on summon. It obviously pops 2 cards on summon, but sometimes you can go like Cruel Whale effect, pop their monster and pop your own Toy Vendor for a free search. So this card's like so good. We play 1 Kraken and 1 Sabertooth. So the only reason we play this now is not only for the odd occasion that your opponent leaves their field empty and you want to go for that big OTK, because this is 8k damage on its own, but they are both level 8, which obviously comes up because you can make Hope Harbinger with it. So I play that in the extra deck now as a spoiler alert. So that's the main reason, because you can actually make an even bigger board now with like Hope Harbinger, Appaloosa, Red-Eyes Dragoon, all sorts of crazy stuff. Basically for the only Fright Fur Fusion cards, these are the only ones that benefit off it the most. Obviously cut 1, but yeah, like this guy can just like pop, you know, 8 cards if it wants. This guy can attack directly 8 times if it wants. It's just, yeah, these cards you have to play them because they come out of nowhere, and you know, they're very threatening cards. Red-Eyes Dragoon, there's nothing more I could say about this card. I don't even know what to say. Like, this is a ban-worthy card, and it's only just come out. Honestly, like, people were saying, you know, this card's like, you know, past its prime, it's not as good as it was in the OCG. Dude, there are games where you just summon this and win just with this on the field. It's so unoutable, it's really unfair. Onto the XYZs, the aforementioned True King of all Calamities, and I guess I'll put the Hope Harbinger here because I spoiled that too. But basically, you can end on fields with this, and like Appaloosa or something. It's just, yeah, this deck can really push going first. So that's why I've really focused the extra deck on going first, because you know, you might auto lose to like Forbidden Droplets. So if for some reason they droplets you but don't send a monster, then this will just negate it. I mean, the scenario doesn't come up very often, but it can. So Hope Harbinger, and it's just generically a good negate anyway. So obviously we play the Shark and the Totally Awesome. I got rid of the gold rare Bahamut Shark because anyone who knows me knows I hate the way gold rares look. I have high hopes for the new gold rares that are coming out. But for now, I'm just gonna run this super rare because it looks nicer, and obviously I can't bother picking up secrets. But yeah, this is like really good. You know, some hands you could just go like Bahamut Shark, Toad, and then dodge Nibiru and do the rest of your combo. So that's really nice. For the links, we play Verte Anaconda because this obviously gets you to the best card in your deck. We play Cross Sheep, and we play Appaloosa because Cross Sheep basically gets you to an Appaloosa for free. The only issue is like we don't play Borrel Sword, and in some scenarios like Cross Sheep is just a free Borrel Sword, but the extra deck space is so tight. It's like, do you want to commit going first or do you want to commit going second? If you want to commit going second, you play Borrel Sword instead, in my opinion. But yeah, this deck is just insane. Like, yeah, you know what I'll do for you? I'm going to give you a quick test hand. I'm not going to play out the hand, but let's just see what your hands might look like. So let's do a quick shuffle up here, and we'll see what your hands might look like going first, just to see how like far you can push it. But we'll see. If the hand's like really good, I might play it out just to show you guys. I'll probably brick because I'm not doing a full pile shuffle here, but I just want you guys to understand that this deck is really, really strong and really, really consistent. Hopefully it doesn't let me down and brick right here, right now. No edits, brothers, no edits. Let's give it a few more cuts, another little shuffle, another few cuts, and let's put the thing here. Let's see what our hand is. Steph's gonna love this video. Penguin, 2 goods, and a bear. So this hand is actually like really powerful because it doesn't matter if you draw this because Red-Eyes Fusion can use materials from your hand, so this card's null and void. Penguin obviously on its own is a good extender, and then you could just theoretically, if you really wanted to go this route, you could go Foolish Goods for wings, and now you've got bear plus wings, which is like plus 10, but you're risking obviously like bricking a lot. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, hit the like button. We are very close to hitting 200 subscribers, so please guys help us get there. That would be really, really appreciated. With that being said, I'll see you next time.